can't believe it. I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell. But they never give in. And that's the winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Woo, sir. How we doing? Manchester United do the deed up at Ellen Road, getting a bit of revenge. We did not play well for large swaths of the game, but the boys, the young lads, Rashford, Garnacho, make their mark in the second half. Lisandro Martinez came in, looked composed, hard-fought game. Fred the Red had a bunch of big tackles. Sabitzer grew into it. And even your boy, number one 27 fan, Wout Weghorst, he dropped down to 10. Erik ten Hag, tactical genius. I'll tell you what, you were screaming out the whole game, but somehow he figured it out. And we got a big 3 points and a big win on the road. Rivals, everybody's dropping points. Everybody dropped points this weekend except for City. How we feeling? How we doing?
Look, I think there's a great line in HBO's critically acclaimed show Succession that sums up this match. We'll play the clip here. See you on the other side.
I think I thought I was a knight on horseback, but yeah, that isn't.
Life's not knights on horseback. It's a number on a piece of paper. It's a fight for a knife in the mud.
Life is not knights on horseback, and sometimes you got to fight for a knife in the mud, and we did that today against Leeds because the first half, even the first half of the second half, it was a rough watch all over the board. Scrambled eggs FC, and then our manager, Erik ten Hag, puts it together. Perfect change, bringing on Martinez. I think he shored up the back line. Garnacho put Rashford through the middle, and yes, Wout at number 10. We've just been playing him in the wrong position the entire time. Who needs Bruno Fernandes to play number 10 when you got Wout Weghorst? It was a setup the whole time. Master plan, 2 goals, easy to like 3 points, absolutely buzzing. It doesn't matter how ugly it was. You just got to win. It's a number on a piece of paper, and you look at that table because it's that piece of paper, and it looks sweet. It looks sweet today, and everyone else dropping points. How about Arteta? How's he doing? How's that bottle factory? We got the excuse factory. Arsenal's got the bottle factory. They are sweating. Shitty won today, putting pressure on them. Obviously, we have Europa League midweek, but it's going to be a crazy one. It's going to be a finish. I have a feeling it's going to get a little nervy for the Gunners, and we might be throwing our hat in the ring. So whatever it takes, Wout at 10, I'll take it to get 3 points.
Absolutely. And even better, Arsenal are playing City on Wednesday. I think City have an opportunity to go even on points with the Gunners. They're starting to stumble. United, hey, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. This was truly a knife fight in the mud. Like they were taking it to us once again. Fred, we had a hard time playing out of the back, but United kept pushing. De Gea, number of big saves, keeping us in it. Harry Maguire, keeping it interesting, just giving the ball away. That was insane, Harry Maguire. And United, the career.
Silly Harry.
He's going to move on this summer. But the most important thing is the manager. You know what? He might not always get it wrong right from the jump, but the man knows how to course correct. And once again, he showed his tactical prowess, pulling the strings, bringing Martinez, pushing Luke Shaw to his favorite position at left back, as well as the Wout drop and having Rashford play as number 9, which is probably always the move. It changed the game. We looked a totally different team in the last 25 minutes. Garnacho looked terrific. Sabitzer, I think, had a good game. Fred was industrious after the first 20, 30 minutes of really not playing that great. And United gets a big 3 points. The right type of momentum headed into a tough fixture, sir. A tough fixture. Barca, high-flying Barca. We're playing on Thursday night, Europa League. You ready for that?
I haven't even thought about Europa League. I'm focused on the league, and, when you get 3 points, whatever it takes, that feeling when everyone's dropping them, even Newcastle, I was watching that game, and to see United just pull one out and a confident victory at the end and ending on a positive note. I feel like we should have seen a little more piss and vinegar from the lads. I felt like some of the changes could have come in. He decided not to change too much, and it went the same way. But look, Arsenal, they played horrible against Brentford. They take the 3 points. Anyone's going to take 3 points. This is where you're cashing your checks. You're getting bills right now in the springtime in the English Premier League. You're going to take 3 points however you can get it. It was ugly today at points, but the manager figured it out. And number one takeaway is Erik ten Hag's the real deal. We've said it. This season,
Real deal.
Like I'm getting fired up about maybe being in a title race. I think that's obviously we're close. If we beat Crystal Palace, if we took Leeds, we'd be right there.
We're back.
We would be.
I know, but you got to do it.
No, we would, but it's too soon. It's too soon. He needs another transfer window. We're going to get new owners. He's going to be backed. United will be back. We'll be fighting for the title. It's just, you just want it now. I mean, every Manchester United fan wants to win now, and that's the push and the pull, because you look at the squad and we're overperforming. Reinforcements are on the way, but just not soon enough for this season. And you look at where we are and where Arsenal is. Like, I'm just excited because we're relevant. It's spring. I'm watching Arsenal's games. I'm watching City's game. I'm watching our games. What a time to be a Manchester United fan. And the Glazers are going to get gone. So absolutely buzzing.
There's a lot to be optimistic about everywhere, right? Around the squad, the team, change of ownership. That's coming. Don't listen to what they say. They're going to sell. And the idea of this manager being back, not only with a decent kitty, which is nice, but I think a competent front office, a nice balance.
A kitty cat?
A kitty cat, a kitty of cash, maybe like a bag, a satchel of money. Not the kind the city has, just making up
the English
fake
term
wire
is kitty.
transfers.
United States, bag. It's a bag.
It's a bag. Stacks Edwards. The point of the matter is these games were always going to be a challenge. Without Casemiro, Eriksen's gone. You got the new kid Sabitzer kind of trying to fold in, and then you have to play with Fred and the new lad. It was always going to be a challenge. Bruno isn't as good when he doesn't have Casemiro behind him, who would be as good. But ultimately, I think today is a huge, huge victory. I would say we played worse than we played at Old Trafford. I think Old Trafford, we had a bunch of really good chances. This one, Leeds bossed large parts of it, or at least just stifled our ability to play out of the back, play confidently, and create good chances. And there's so much to look forward to, sir. So much to look forward to. Starting with Barcelona, it's a grudge match. I got bad blood from that side, and they're going to be looking to, I guess, win Europa League because we're both in it, and neither of us want to be.
Onwards and upwards from here. Quick PSA for the podcast. If you like the American Red Devils and you want to support independent fan content, we have no private sponsors on the podcast. Just me and Alex doing it in his garage for the love of the game, giving you that hot Muppet take. As bad or as wrong as it is, we're passionate fans, and we will always keep it 100 here on the podcast. You want to support us, the best way to do so is www.patreon.com/American Red Devils. Check out our Patreon page. You can support us to the tune from $1 to $20 a month. We give away stickers, scarves, shirts, tons of benefits depending on your tier. Please check it out. Support the podcast if you want to keep things going here. Also, check out our website at AmericanRedDevils.com. Great blog content. And also click on store if you want to grab some merch at AmericanRedDevils.store. Scarves, hoodies, beanies, blankets even. Whatever you need, we got you covered. Awesome gear, top-notch, top quality. Everything you buy supports this small-time operation. Sir, tell about iTunes reviews.
iTunes reviews or 5-star reviews of the American Red Devils podcast, wherever you listen, whether it be on iTunes or Spotify or like, it's a great way to support the pod. It helps us get found by other top Muppets like yourself. And even better, we got an extra special giveaway. We're giving away free American Red Devil design Glazer out scarves, green and gold till the club is sold. They're not out yet, and even still, it's a classic. It will never go out of style. All you have to do is write that 5-star review and send a screenshot to AmericanRedDevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I will personally pick, pack, and ship a free ARD Glazer out scarf right to your door anywhere in the world. Here's a 5-star from Cavo Sub 400. Pure delight. This is made by fans and for fans of the greatest club on earth and must listen after every match to relive the highs and lows of being a Manchester United fan. Bonus points for having no sponsors or agenda. We've got a bit of an agenda. A bit of agenda is that we love this club and we are just unbridled Muppets, sir. On the up. A lot to look forward to. Lots of exciting stuff, and I can't believe it because the best thing about it is like we have a real deal manager. You look at that game today, it's like our back against the wall, played like shit. And he's just switching and swapping and playing Weghorst at 10 and pushing Bruno out wide. It worked. I don't know how it worked. I think it was Rashi up front. But either way, what a big 3 points against Leeds scum, showing their class at home.
That's right. Manchester United 2, Leeds 0 at Ellen Road. Let's get into that lineup. I couldn't believe my eyes. Dave saves world number 1 in net. Malacia, Shaw, Magoo at center back with Delo on the right. Oh no, Fred Sabitzer midfield with Bruno in the hole. The same midfield with Magoo behind it. I was shaking in my boots. Then you had Rashford, Wout up at number 9 and Sancho on the right. What'd you make of this 11?
You know, the most shocking for me would be the Wout start. I thought the manager was going to drop him after his lack of effectiveness at home against Leeds scum. Midfield, it's going to pick itself. I know everyone was pointing for Lindelof or Martinez to play there. I didn't think it was going to happen. And then Shaw at center back, you know, that was a little bit of a strange one just because Martinez is actually suspended for the game because of like accumulation of yellows in the Europa League, so he won't be able to go to the Camp Nou. So I thought he would have played, but it made sense because he's a very effective center back. What did you think when you saw this 11?
It didn't make sense to me. Like you said, Fred Sabitzer, fine, but to put Maguire behind them when you're trying to pass it out the back, that we struggled to do with Varane and Martinez, who are like our locked on dudes that can handle that. I felt like this was just going to be a recipe for disaster. We weren't going to be able to build up. I thought the way to go would be to play super defensively, like maybe get Lindelof in the midfield. Like you said, play Martinez, Maguire, Shaw, try to absorb pressure, and then play Rashford at number 9, hit him on the counter. I kind of thought you had to absorb the pressure from Leeds playing in their house, just like we couldn't do to start the game, and then hit him on the break. And I feel like he kind of set up to do the same thing we did at home. And jumping out in the first half, it was the same thing. We came out struggling to play out at the back. You saw, Shaw, Maguire. The press wasn't on the center backs. It was into the passing lane, so we couldn't get it out. A couple hoof balls up to Wout, couldn't collect. A couple hoof balls up to Rashford. Well, he just had nothing doing. Leeds were all over us from the jump, and it's in their house, so the crowd are going to be behind them.
No, it's absolutely right. I think that's a really good point that I didn't think about. It was that having Maguire there is kind of your guy to play it out of the back when you don't have Casemiro and Eriksen. Obviously Varane, he needs rest, but on Martinez, he's such a confident player of the ball. He looked so good when he came into the second half. And Leeds were all over us. They were pressing super high. We had such difficulty playing out of the back that we did result to hoofball for that first half of the first half. And it was a frustrating start for United.
But some chances broke our way. 20th minute chance for Bruno, but he slices it wide after some nice play with Sancho. I thought it was a crime to put Sancho on the right after he looked so good on the left, and that's kind of where I wanted to see maybe a Palestri come in there, but maybe another day. 35th minute, Maguire gets his pocket picked, but then does well to recover the ball. So we were vulnerable, and this is kind of, you're getting into the middle of the ring and you're slugging it out. Like, we might concede, we might get a goal, but I just felt it was a little too all over the place for me in the first half. And then 44th minute, Dave saves well. Leeds had another great chance here, but De Gea, wise to it.
Wise to it. He was great today. I'll tell you what, when United isn't up to par, De Gea has a way of like picking up the slack for the rest of us, and I think he kept us in this game. If we had gone down, it would have been much more difficult to get back into it, and he had a really astute performance. Way to mark his 400th appearance in the EPL, as well as tying, inevitably, when he got his clean sheet, Schmeichel's record for the most clean sheets at Manchester United. So big up Spaniard. He's working on that. He's earning that new contract.
And then this is the chance. 47th minute, Bruno, one-on-one. Took too many touches here. And obviously the keeper was wise to save from Leeds' end. But I thought this should have been a goal. Bruno's got to finish. You can't just kill Bruno. He basically has played every single game. He's tired. You have an off day. Totally makes sense here. But he should have done better with the 2 chances he had in the first half. And if the only chances are falling to Bruno, that's kind of where I question that attacking lineup there. I kind of felt Rashford through the middle was just so deadly against Leeds' back line that, it would be nice to seen that in the first half.
Yeah, I would agree. I think you saw that a little bit more in the second half, switching things up. Bruno, this chance was a big one. He was involved in a lot of the good stuff, but he took one too many touches on this and should be scoring in that opportunity.
Coming out of the second half, we started poorly again. No changes from Ten Hag. I couldn't believe it last time we played Leeds. Couldn't believe it this time. 47th minute, De Gea, great save. Leeds with a number of half chances. United come out slow. 60th minute, double sub here. Finally, he makes the subs in the 60th minute. Again, this time it's Martinez and Garnacho for Sancho and Malacia. I was surprised to see Sancho come off. He opts to keep Wout on the pitch. He moves Wout to number 10, puts Bruno out on the right. Martinez comes into the center back pairing. Shaw goes out to left back. Garnacho goes on the left. Rashford on the right, and then Wout to 10. And somehow this just clicked. And what really clicked for me was Martinez calming things down at the back. We were finally able to build up properly. Obviously, it wasn't 100%. We weren't just lights out 100% pretty playing out the back, but he really shored things up for United so we could build and attack from there.
No, it's a great point. Martinez is so assured at the back. He's a great passer of the ball. Shaw as well, his ability to get wide, push up the field. I thought that was really helpful for Garnacho. Their overlapping runs were way more effective. And we talk about that. It was a frustrating first 60 minutes as United fans, but as soon as these subs were made, it was just the game and the complexity of it changed so much. It was like United started dictating play a little bit more, which we've seen so often with this manager and this side.
And 63rd minute, Dalot able to get forward, hits the crossbar. Great driven shot. I've seen Dalot hit the crossbar a lot in his career, but it's just indicative of his potential. This one should have been a goal. 73rd minute sub AWB for Dalot. I'm sure this is just Dalot needs to get some rest. He hasn't played a full 90. Get Aaron Wan-Bissaka in there. 79th minute. Dave saves. Leeds should have been ahead here. This is the one where it was all bobbling everywhere. I think off of a Magoo.
Yep.
De Gea saves it. We've seen De Gea bottle this one into the net. Somehow this is bottled out of the net for the clean sheet record. You win some, you lose some. This one was huge. But it wasn't all easy at the back for Manchester United. Leeds had opportunities here, and that is why this was such a nervy match. It doesn't matter how you get there in the end. When you're fighting for a knife in the mud, all you need to do is get it. And in the 80th minute, Marcus would have a bang-on header.
So it's wide for Luke Shaw. Rashford! He is the man that they cannot silence. Another standout moment in the season of his life. Goal number 21. And Manchester United lead at Leeds with 10 minutes to go.
Well, it just had to be him. It had to be Marcus Rashford. In this sort of form, credit to Sabitzer for a wonderful switch of play. That reverse pass out to Luke Shaw, who does superbly well. Now then, it's tight, it's close, but I think he's in line. Great first touch from Luke Shaw. Delivers the cross, and what a header. Almost a carbon copy of his goal against Leeds in midweek.
What a goal. I mean, honestly, the timing of this goal, Sabitzer with an unbelievable ball out to Luke Shaw, who has a lot to do if you watch him cross the ball in, whips it in. And Marcus, this is where you're starting to see the evolution of Marcus Rashford. When he's playing through the middle, he is on the shoulder of the center back. And oh, by the way, he is like a world-class header of the ball now. What a finish from Marcus Rashford. We've never seen him heading goals like this. You love to see him evolving. He's dangerous there. He's right on the shoulder. You saw the offsides call. It was so close, and he gets in and dunks it. What a play for Manchester United. What a goal. What a time. This is huge for our club. Going absolute nuts, sir. We were going absolutely nuts this morning.
We certainly were. It was end-to-end stuff at this point, right? Because De Gea had just coming up with a big save to keep us in the match. And then just three individual acts of brilliance, almost like a great team goal, but in many ways, great ball from Sabitzer. Shaw does so well to keep his defender off and put in a insanely good ball, driven ball on a rope. And then, like you said, Marcus Rashford, arguably, in form at least, first or second best in form number 9 in the league. As a number 9, we've talked about it. He's a left winger, but with this finishing ability and this ability in the air, he looks like you want him to be your de facto number 9 and figure out which of our current crop of wingers can fit on the left side, because he's playing lights out. Poacher goals, like unbelievable goals.
85th minute, remember the name.
And Garnacho will make his way forward here. And there's number 2. What a future he has ahead of him. And the present isn't too bad either. It's 2 in 5 minutes for Manchester United. That will be job done.
Disappointment when he was substituted in midweek. but this is the way to react. What about this for pace? The touch into the space, and then have you got the finish?
Have you got the finish? I mean, absolutely dirty. The pace that he puts on and then off the post and in. I mean, what's better than 1 goal at Ellen Road, 2 goals at Ellen Road? See you later. What a finish. Garnacho, I mean, just a player. Came in, these 2 subs, Garnacho, Martinez. We got no one on the bench, sir. We're so thin. And Ten Hag figures it out once again.
Tactical genius, our bald fraud, and Alejandro Garnacho silencing what critics, who would ever criticize an 18-year-old that's just finding his feet? But what a great goal. What a great team goal. Fred and Weghorst nicking at it. And then Weghorst, the first assist as a Manchester United player, I believe, puts a good ball in. But really, it's Alejandro doing all the work. Lightning pace. He's deceptively fast, and at the same time, what a finish. Instead of 1 banger, you get 2. What's not to like?
And you rest easy for the last 8 minutes here. 90th minute, Rashford scores. He was just off. And then 93rd, actually, Wout got one on the goal line, but he was offsides as well. But that's it. 3 points. Everyone's dropping like flies. United moving up the table. That's all we care about at this stage. Look, it was rough. I didn't like the 11-10. I questioned the 11-10 Hogg put out there. I said, you're going to get the same thing, only worse. It looked like that. He holds it to the 60th minute. I would have changed it at half. He finally does change it. Ingenious move to move Wout to 10. I'm sure that just created a lot of problems and allowed space for Marcus to run in behind because Wout was playing pretty high. It's not like he was dropping deep.
Right.
And he does have a pass on him. So you saw to Garnacho. So that did work. That's another look that Ten Hag can go with, and we've never seen it before, and it works. So you got to give the manager credit. Sir, the number one Wout hater last podcast, got to give him credit, sir. I'm a Muppet. I overreact sometimes. You got to give credit where credit's due. He did a job today, and the team won, and that's what it's all about, 3 points. I'm absolutely buzzing, and I can't wait to talk about the Arteta bottle factory.
When do we get into that? We can talk about the table in a second.
Yeah, we talk about
the table. But a great result because you know what? 70 minutes, 65 minutes of shit football. Like you said, I think we played worse for most of this game than even the last game when we drew against Leeds Scum. But the manager just figuring out a way. Doesn't have a lot of options on the bench. Doesn't have a lot of players you can bring in. They're going to make an impact. But Martinez and Garnacho are huge players. Then you do the tinkering and moving them all around. And it had an effect. It's an important win. But you also, the class. It's like we need a finish. We probably didn't create much XG in this game. But Rashford's finish is unbelievable. And so is Garnacho's. And that's what it takes. That makes the difference in a title race. In a top 4 race. We're firmly in it.
The Arsenal bottles some more, and we beat Leicester. We're in it. I'll tell you that much. 16 shots for Leeds Scum, 11 for Manchester United, 6 on target for Leeds, 5 on target for Manchester United, 67% of the ball to United at Ellen Road. But they did give us some problems, and they aren't a good side. The number one concern, you could say, is Leeds are really bad, and we struggle bus against them. And obviously, Casemiro's been out, so there's so many different Muppetry talking points you can make. The excuse factor would say we were missing arguably our best player in Casemiro. That's why we struggled.
A lot of fixtures.
There's a lot of fixtures, so it's hard to say.
Thin squad. I tell you what, I am the mayor of Excuse City, which houses the Excuse Factory.
You're the foreman of the Excuse Factory.
Working overtime. I tell you what, that muscle memory from just all those Ole Rangnick years. I've gotten very good at making excuses for this fine club.
No, it's just hard. The math does. The new manager bounced from Leeds. We don't know where we stand, but I would say after watching a lot of English Premier League over 20 years, it's not a good sign that we're struggling. Even our backup struggling against this Leeds team. We played 130 minutes poorly against Leeds, right? And that's not a good look. It's you got to be putting in solid 90-minute shifts, and you can get away with it, but how are we going to show up against Barca? I imagine we'll raise our game. And then more importantly for me, Leicester City, they're kind of in some form.
They are.
Thursday turnaround, tight turnaround, you're going to travel, so it's going to be, this is where you make your money. This is where it counts at this part of the season. Match reaction, Fred regained possession with 8 tackles for Manchester United against Leeds today. This is the most by a player in a single Premier League game for over 2 years, and he was man of the match. And Garnacho has been directly involved in 4 goals as a substitute this season in the Premier League. 2 goals, 2 assists, the most of any player.
Not bad.
He's great coming off the bench. And David De Gea, who set a record for the first goalkeeper to make 400 appearances in the Premier League for one team, also equaled Peter Schmeichel's 178 clean sheets for Manchester United. So De Gea, Manchester United, great. Absolutely. I have to say, he's a Manchester United legend, and I hope he goes out on top, signs a new deal, wins some more stuff with Erik ten Hag.
I'm with you. I think he is another player that would benefit from some real competition, as we've seen from other players in this squad. He has won it. Love to see him win even more under Manchester United, at Manchester United under Ten Hag. Won it with Fergie, and it'd be great to come full circle and him be a part of like one of the elder statesmen as we lift European glory sometime in the near future.
He stayed with he's like the girl that stayed with us the whole time.
It's true.
Through the good,
even when we gained all
and
that
the
weight,
bad,
we're broke.
He stayed the whole time.
He didn't go anywhere.
He didn't yell. He didn't complain. He didn't leak to the press. He just showed up and did his job the entire time. And maybe that's because he started under Sir Alex Ferguson. Let's get into that table. We can talk about the ballers. Arsenal, 21 games played, 51 points. Man City played 23. They got 48. We played 23. We got 46. City play Arsenal midweek. Huge game. Must-see TV. If City beat Arsenal, City's going to go even with them on points. They will have one game in hand still, but that means we're only 5 points behind them with the game in hand. Could be 8, could be 6 if they bottle it. Either way, you're within 6 points. You're in a race, sir. I mean, this is getting real tight. Arsenal are getting real slippery, starting to slip all over the floor.
starting to slip.
This is, you see the snowball at the top of the hill?
It's at the Emirates.
It's already rolling. The ball's already rolling. The bottle city's already, the thoughts are like, oh my God.
We're going to blow it.
We blew it last year for top 4. We're going to blow the title. Like, it is happening in all their heads right now. And the mental game, and we listen to all the Manchester United legends talk about it. It's like, you're going to try to win the title. Everyone you play against, like playing against Real Madrid, everyone lifts their game. And it's going to be really exciting to see. I'm obviously rooting against Arsenal, which it's sad to see me cheer on Man City and the financial fraud and all that stuff. And Pep Guardiola, absolute madman. What he says in the press conferences, he's lost the plot.
Oh, without a doubt.
So more importantly, down the table, top 4, Newcastle game in hand. They're at 41 points. They drew, which is good for us since we picked up points. So everything's coming up roses. Also, Tottenham draw points. So
Tottenham got beat up by Leicester City, who are going to be playing next weekend.
Which is funny until we beat up Leicester City.
Ideally, we do not get beat up by Leicester City. Casemiro will not be back. That'll be the last game of his suspension, but all to play for. I'm not getting my hopes up, but we're firmly in top 4. Got to fight off. It's really Spurs. If you look at it, there's not many teams below it that can catch Spurs, Newcastle, and us fighting for those last 2 spots, but a lot of games left and a lot to look forward to, including an old venue we know well, sir.
Let's check in with the manager, Erik ten Hag.
And then showing your class at the end.
Yes, you can describe it as that, but am I always critical? We have to play football early on in the game, be more calm. We make many mistakes on the ball, unnecessary mistakes. But if you are not that good in possession, definitely you have to have a good defending organization and win your battles. And that's normal in a rivalry is always the same. It's starting with that, to win your battles, second balls, so the challenges and in defending but also offense. And then you can grip in the game. And till you have that first goal, and you have to keep doing that. And I think from the moment on we made the first goal, I think there was more composure and the quality on the ball was better.
We've seen some good headed goals from Marcus recently. Is that something you've been working on?
Yes, of course, but I think Ressi has the skills to score with right, with left, and with his head. And it's about him getting into the position, but also from the team, have the capabilities to pass him there, to cross him as today. And I think that is what I just wanted to describe. If you have a better formation and calmness on the ball, and you get switch of play, or you bring an extra pass like we did with the goal, then finally, now was it Joy, great cross, and Marcus was in the right time there. But I think once again, it's also a good move from Wout Weghorst to front post.
Oh my God, that
your boy.
just like,
Thinking about boys.
no, he's Wout's his boy, dude. Like it's
He's
clear
giving him
as
air
day.
cover. He's giving him air cover for not scoring goals.
No,
That's what that
he's
is.
giving him. I don't think I've seen him show that much love to anyone in pressers. Like specifically, he's called him out multiple times.
You know he's getting murdered. He
No, but
knows
he-
everybody's ripping on him because he's not scoring.
He has he's called him out. Like I want to say 3 times in the presser when he isn't been scoring, playing 9 and being like,
He's playing
Wout's
great.
great.
He's playing
Like,
great.
just hey, by the way, can I get it in? He's great. He's a great guy.
Great.
We're
say
not
great?
from the same country. I'm not biased at all here, but that's
It
what
doesn't
football
matter.
is.
It doesn't matter if he's biased. I'll take it.
Hey, that's what football is today. But hey, you see Wout, that header from Rashford, the English guy, he's okay. But you see Wout there? Yeah, it was all him. But sir, you hear that? Coming into the club?
I don't hear any angels.
We're back, baby. That baseline hitting here.
It's like trembling. Hot room is shaking.
We back. This is the remix, sir. These two teams used to play in the Champions League final. Now they play in Europa League, round of 16. Barcelona versus Manchester United. When these two teams go to toe-to-toe, it's a special night. The first leg will be at the Camp Nou, Thursday, February 16th, 9:45 a.m. Pacific, 12:45 p.m. Eastern. Barcelona, top of La Liga, best defense in Europe. Can Marcus Rashford take him down? Lifetime versus Barcelona. They don't play often, sir. That's why they're working on that Super League.
Yeah, and you see how much debt they have? They have so much debt. They've been spending like crazy. I think they have more debt than we do, and we got a lot of debt.
A lot of debt. You heard it here. Lifetime versus Barca. We've won 3. We've drawn 4. We've lost 6. Oof. First time we played them, 1984. UEFA European and Cup Winners' Cup. They beat us 2-0. Last 5. The 2 legs against them in 2019 where De Gea bottled it.
Full bottle. That's a full bottle.
That was bad. We lost them on aggregate here. And then in 2011, we played them in Champions League final. Lost 3-1.
That's brutal. 09 was even worse.
Hold up. Only thing that's different is going to be the music. At the end of the day.
Can't wait for the Angels to come
I'm
back.
just going to play the Champions League theme with the TV on mute and just get myself in the mood for this one.
I have it right here. We could give ourselves a little shot of
you
adrenaline.
don't play it.
I know. I want to hear it so
Sir,
bad.
I had an emotional reaction. You said you're going to play it. It's like we don't deserve it.
Look at it. It
Like,
just
we're
looks
like,
so pretty. It's at the very end. It's just waiting
You have
for
to
us.
go a whole year. You have to go a
UCL
whole. I know you have to go a whole year. It's like it's horrible. We can't listen to that.
7
music.
months. If we qualify top 4,
It's a long time.
September.
I'll tell you, it's been a long 400 plus episodes on this pod. Too much Hans and Franz. We love you, Hans. Franz.
We don't love you that
too
much.
Too much. Is 25% Hans and Franz. It's been like over 50. It's like we've been
Too much Hans.
So okay. It kills me to say this, but all the games against Barcelona are very consequential. So you have the 08 we beat them 1-0. We went on to win the Champions League final in 08. Got the scarf, got the photo of the lads holding the trophy here in the pod bunker.
Skulls banger.
Very important. The Skulls banger. I have that in my son's room. The photo of Paul Scholes scoring with Messi in the background, looking and admiring the best footballer probably I've ever seen play for Manchester United. Then you have 2009. Barcelona beat us in the final, 2-0. Then they beat us in the final again, 3-1. Look, those are really tough finals. Very tough finals. We had could have gone back-to-back. They stole it from us. Then 2011, and then obviously we met them in the Champions League, and we were not up for the task. We couldn't do it. Like you said, De Gea with a few errors at the Camp Nou. Tough time for Manchester United here.
Now, that was obviously the year of Paris, the year of Marcus Magic late on. And as you said, I mean, there's some good and some bad. 08 was great, right? We had to get through Barca in order to play Chelsea and beat them in the final. 09, I think we could have hung. I think Fergie actually got that one wrong. He went and played toe-to-toe, and he should have been cagier, and they just knocked our socks off. And then 11 was like the team had been so underinvested that the fact that we even got to the final is such a testament to what type of manager Fergie was and how much of a legend he was. Because if you look at that 11 versus their 11, sir, there was a clear step down. But either way, it's going to be a fun match, a big match, a match where, we're not we're underdogs. So we get to go in there and just play and hope for a great result. We don't embarrass ourselves. And I want to get a result at the Camp Nou. You'd love to get a win, but it's going to be a hard opponent. They have put quite a team together under Xavi, who's the manager now. They spent big money. They're buying everybody over the summer. They were the Chelsea before Chelsea. And like I said, the best defense in Europe.
Last 5 coming in, Barcelona beat Getafe 1-0. They beat Real Sociedad, or on the podcast, the Saucy Dad, 1-0. They beat Girona 1-0. Real Betis, they bested 2-1. And Sevilla, they beat 3-0. So they are on a roll. They're not struggling against Leeds scum necessarily. This is going to be a big one for Manchester United, a big step up. And a little history about Barcelona. They were founded in 1899 by a group of Swiss, Catalan, German, and English footballers led by Joan Gamper. The club has become a symbol of Catalan culture and Catalanism, hence the motto Més que un club, more than a club. If you've ever been to Barcelona, they have that written in the seats. The Camp Nou is an amazing stadium. If you haven't been, I would go. If you haven't been to Barcelona, generally has degraded over the years, like all major cities around the world. But in the summer, it's hard to beat it. Just amazing nightlife. You have the Camp Nou, sports, etc. The beach, everything. The food's great. Unlike many other football clubs, the supporters own and operate Barcelona, so be careful what you wish for. They are basically bankrupted. It's the 4th most valuable sports team in the world, worth around $4.7 billion. Obviously, those valuations are kind of BS until someone tries to buy you, like what we're going through now. Barcelona domestically has won a record 76 trophies. So it's a record domestically in Spain, 26 La Ligas, 31 Copa del Reyes, 14 Supercopa de Españas, 3 Copa Eva Duarte, 2 Copa La Liga titles, as well as being the record holder for the latter 4 competitions. In international football, the club's won 22 European and worldwide titles, 5 UEFA Champions League titles, 4 UEFA Cup Winners' Cups, a record 5 UEFA Super Cups, 3 Intercities Fair Cups, 2 Latin Cups, and 3 FIFA Club World Cups. Long-standing rivalry with Real Madrid. Obviously, they contest the El Clasico. That is must-see TV. And, you like to see Barca and Real Madrid doing well and going at it. These teams have struggled in recent years. Real Madrid has not. They won the Champions League, but they've kind of been through a little bit of a lull themselves. They traded out leagues. Still a great contest. They're playing the 4-3-3 under Xavi. They have Lewandowski. If you haven't, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, they do.
Haven't seen him in a while. Busquets still going. Frankie De Jong.
Heard of him.
Remember that girl that didn't even
return the text.
Stood us up on the date. Yeah, she's playing. Rafinha, Christensen used to play for Chelsea, and Ter Stegen, Jordi Alba at left back.
shithousery. There's going to be a lot of shithousery.
Big troll here. I mean,
Expected full of
it's a proper tie. It's a proper. I mean, Camp Nou.
It'll be great.
Manchester United, Barcelona. We talked about how important those games were. Anytime these two teams play, you just got to enjoy it. You hope we show up.
I do.
Speaking of showing up, showing up. Have you ever heard this Brazilian midfielder?
Casemiro.
He
He's
used
back,
to play
baby.
for Real Madrid. Doesn't like Barcelona.
He does not like
He's
Barcelona.
back, baby. Let's go. He's back in the side. People who will not be featuring: Donnie, Christian Eriksen, Scott McTominay, Martial, and Anthony. Hopefully Anthony can make it back for this game. And like you said, Martinez is going to be unavailable. So Varane, Magoo, Varane, Shaw. Will be interesting to see what we see at the Camp Nou. Who do you got for your starting 11? This is a big one.
De Gea, you're in net. You had a gaff last time, but you almost joined the white of Madrid and could have been a part of El Clasico. This could be our El Clasico, so I'm hoping for a big game because I have a figure Lewandowski's going to test them. Back four, I'm going to do AWB, Varane, Shaw at center back, and Malacia at left back. I'm going to do like the extra midfielder like we did, I think, against City. So I'm going to do Casemiro, Fred, Sabitzer, Bruno on the right, and then play Rashford up top and Sancho on the left. What do you got, sir?
So I got Dave saves world number 1 in net. I got Aaron Wan-Bissaka right back. Varane, Shaw, Malacia. I can do Casemiro, Fred, Bruno, Garnacho, Rashford, Sancho. I think you're going to see those three. I think our boy, I'm starting to think what Ten Hag's thinking, and I think he's thinking he's going to drop Wout for Barca. That's why he played him against Leeds. If you were thinking what game would be better to drop him, that'd probably be the thought process from the manager. Given those are the 11, what do you got for the bookies? Booking the bookies.
Barcelona, like I said, they're the favorites. United go in to Barcelona as underdogs, so they're minus 150. The draw is plus 300, and Manchester United to win on the road is plus 350. Sir, given the odds, what is your score prediction?
Talking about 350. For me, score prediction, Barcelona 2-1.
Yeah, I think we get a tough draw, 1-1. United fight back, but exciting match. I expect us to show up because I still think this is a team that has a lot of potential to grow into even better team, of course. But we still have the tendency to play down to opponents, play up to opponents, and I'm expecting for a big battle on Thursday Night Football. Europa League stuff. Can you believe it?
Sir, breaking into the dark ale, Super Bowl Sunday.
Let's go.
Super Bowl Sunday. United in the news on Super Bowl Sunday. All right. Revealed here.
Revealed.
This is
Revealed. Breaking news from the
breaking
mail.
news from the mail, sir. You put the news in here, so you want to go through why this is included here, or what bit of nugget? Is
What
it?
kind of lead-in was that? Is this to say
Like,
you
what
are
is
not
this? Is this
satisfied with the
news?
level of fake news that is regurgitated by the papers
The mail.
in advance of this?
We're putting the mail in here. Why are the mail?
If you remember, last pod, which was only Wednesday, and today is Sunday, we had too much news almost. And then sometimes after you get an avalanche of news, there's less of it. But this is the latest on the sale process. The sale process, you're hearing more and more noise about the Qataris. You're hearing more and more noise about Radcliffe and apparently him lining up bankers, and i.e. bank debt in the form of, I think, JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs. And what we're hearing is that there are 5 interested parties that have been named, some Americans, some Middle Eastern, and obviously the English in Radcliffe. Final bids, or not final bids, but bids are due next Friday before they go to the next stage of the process. And now we're hearing noise. Could be just posturing, because it probably is. The Glazers are split over the valuation of United, with some family members willing to consider bids of less than $5 billion, which I think is the floor that's been set. But we had heard, and you've been hearing in the papers, that Radcliffe had bid something closer to 4. Maybe the way that Qatar was kind of posturing in the public was because they wanted to accept or offer something less than 5. And what you're seeing is, as you'd expect, 5, 6 rich kids around a circle. They're not all going to agree. Some people have a lower buyout price, and they'll be willing to step. They can walk away with $750 million and be happy instead of having $1 billion. So, what do you think about this, sir?
We are Muppets, but there is something that we have shot straight the entire time on this podcast. We did say, looking at the financials, they have to sell. they tried to go secondary, like have someone come in and give them like $1 billion. Nobody would take that because of how horrible the club has been run. Then we did say when they sell, each kid is going to look for $1 billion. They're going to look for $6 billion that's the clearing price because each of them won $1 billion from this club. We said that years ago.
We did say that.
We did say that. I said $6 billion, and here you are. We're at $6 billion, and then all the bidders are talking about $5 billion. So, I don't want to toot our own Muppet horn, but at the end of the day, sometimes you get something right. Sometimes the blind squirrel finds the acorn. But I said, you know what? $1 billion per Glazer sounds about right. And what do you know? That's what they came up with. Now, as far as bids in, the rumor are 5 bids. 2 from the USA, 1 being Qatar, who went public. Ineos, which is basically Ratcliffe, being the third, and then Saudi. So basically 2 in the U.S., Ratcliffe, that's 3, Saudi, Qatar, those are the 5 rumored bidders. Ratcliffe has engaged JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs to help him with the takeover. The rumor is that debt would be a significant portion of the takeover. It would be an LBO like the Glazers originally did, and it would take the debt over the current total of 669 billion pounds. Now, the reason why it could go over is because you can include a stadium financing as a part of that as well.
The valuation's higher.
Exactly. So the way that you could get there, the problem is from a cash flow perspective, 600, it depends on how you run the club, right? It's just going to depend on how many people you employ. If you have more free cash flow, you can take on more debt, and they're thinking about all those fun things. But it does raise questions around Ratcliffe's bid. This is where we're getting to the stage where the horses are showing themselves. They're out of the gates. They're putting numbers on paper, and eventually it just becomes a competition because the Glazers are going to get all these pieces of paper. I love the journalist describing a term sheet.
One paragraph. One paragraph.
It's like, this is news. Like, are you kidding me? It's like, this is how M&A is done. You can talk to any banker who's ever sold a company. LOIs due here. You send a piece of paper. It's not one paragraph. It literally is multiple paragraphs. It's 2 pages probably. There's a lot of legalese on exactly how you would value everything, and it adds up to an enterprise value. And people write it in different ways. I'm sure the way they write or need to come to the valuation in different parts of the world are different. So, they have to add it all up, compare all the bids, and then go through how they would be financed. Like Ratcliffe thinking about debt, etc. So we're here. We're talking about it. You're just going to hear real rumors about where this club is going to go. And it's crazy that we're in the washing machine of who's going to own Manchester United at the end of the day. And I think it's best for us not to comment until we know. We just don't know. There's a before and there's after, and we're going to have to figure it out. Because as far as who owns us or why they're going to own us or sports washing or capitalist debt or whatever, it's like you got to see who the owner's going to be. You got to let them speak, and you got to hold them to account the same way the Glazers, way with the Glazers. We saw what they did, and we had to come out and protest them because they're horrible. So I doubt the new owner will be like that, but we'll see.
We will see. And I like that analogy. We're in the middle of the washing machine, and we do not know where we're going to land. We do know one thing. This club is being sold. 100% will be sold in full. I have no doubt about that. Somebody will meet the price that all of the Glazer children kind of concede on. That it's time for us to walk away. So at this point, we have no idea who the buyer's going to be. A lot of different profiles were listed out in those 5. They can go a bunch of different ways. Either way, we'll see what happens. So this next news, United are preparing to overhaul Carrington. This is going to be highly dependent on who our new owners are, what their budget is, what their priorities are. But this has been something that they got arrows from. They got it from Ronaldo. They got it from Jesse Lingard. We all know it. Every piece of facility at Manchester United has been underinvested in. Carrington included at the turn of the century, the turn of the millennium. It was top of the table. It was a great facility, and it's been neglected like everything else, left behind.
It's still nice.
For us to be nice.
You go to
Ronaldo was not impressed.
No, of course. I think when you get into the player side of it, there's a lot to be done. And I think, what's amazing to me is didn't Richard Arnold go spend time with all these other CEOs around, or was that Murtaugh who went around and he didn't pick up on anything for Carrington?
No.
And this whole idea that like United are going to do anything when we're selling the club it's not news because the new owner would be like, no, Carrington's fine, and then we're not going to get any training ground at the end of the day. So,
or we've got hugely ambitious plans that aren't even aligned with what they're trying to do today. So it's the news, sir. This is what we got.
you hope. I mean, anything less than a world-class training facility for Manchester United. You look at how much money we invest in the team, and you're not investing in the training facility. It makes no sense how anyone could run a business where you're literally investing in these contracts and players to the tune of $1 billion, and you're not paying any maintenance on that. You're not like paying the best training staff in the best facility to maintain these $1 billion intangible assets, which is just incredible. But that is Ed Neckbeard Woodward.
It is quite a neckbeard. I am not going to miss that. You still see him occasionally slithering around the grounds. And it's going to be fresh. I think whoever is brought in, I think it's back to the sale, is like, they have to be smarter than the Glazers. I mean, they have to be smarter than Ed Woodward. And I'm hopeful that we're going to end up with someone that is palatable. We will see. There's a lot of different ways we can land, but I agree with you. The team is the asset. It's like, of course, it's the brand, the history, and the club, but its ability to execute on its obligation to make money is really to go out and put 11 players on a pitch and win football matches. And you spend a shit ton of money on the players. You want to be able to give them the best tools possible to make sure that they stay fit and healthy and can play to the top of their potential. So, like I said, imagine Erik ten Hag without his hands tied up behind his back. This man with a real front office, top tier facilities, reasonable budget. Like, he is a dangerous manager.
That's a very good point, and I think that's exactly what this season's all about. Is he's earned the right to get that bag this summer.
Give him that sack.
Give him that bag and let him go wild in the transfer market, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of players this team needs, and if we get them, I have a feeling Ten Hag will get the best out of them. New contract, Kobe Mainu, youth player, youth product of Manchester United. The academy keeps on giving. Just signed a new contract at Manchester United. How are you feeling about this one?
You love to see it. 17-year-old, you know, he's very young. Needs a lot of time. Midfielders especially, they don't develop as quickly as, say, a winger does. So he's going to need time and space, but clearly he's a talented lad. Clearly he's valued by Erik ten Hag. The other contract news, sir, that we talked about in the preview was that De Gea is getting closer, apparently, to signing a 3-year deal on basically half wages that he's at the moment, £200,000. That's great to see. I think he still has a role to play, and I really think that he could have like the Luke Shaw effect. It's like you bring in a youngin to be like the future guy that he can learn under and challenge him. I think you'd see even a higher level, and I just think you've been seeing that under players. I'm hopeful the same will happen with Sancho, with Anthony trying to take his spot in the right wing. So, lots to be hopeful about at Manchester United at the moment.
And De Gea deserves a solid send-off at Manchester United. I hope that is one thing the new, whoever runs the club, whoever the CEO is, and whoever the owner is, you treat players who, you know, what a professional for Manchester United. Coming in under Fergie, you heard of him stealing donuts at Tesco. Like he came in like at a
all-timer.
Football used to be a little different, you know. The new players like De Gea, like coming in like this tall Spaniard, just like going and like eating donuts he didn't pay for at Tesco, and then now all of a sudden, you know, he's like, we're like club captain, you know. So what a journey. 400 EPL appearances. Give the man the contract. Love Spanish Dave. Hope we can win some more silver with him at the helm. I don't want the last moment in a final for him to be kicking that penalty.
He's going to another final. We're going to another final regardless with Spanish Dave in a couple of weeks or 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, but technically it could go to penalties, and he could kick the last one and lose. So I'm also just saying that, you know, I want it to be other than that. Getting into fan questions here at Rolling the Deep 1995. Sirs, when it comes to Leeds scum, we love a good smash and grab. Were they the stronger side? Yes. Did they come close to scoring? Yes. Did they go home crying? Yes, sir.
Woo-hoo. It's great. You know what? Like, you want to win, you want to beat up teams and perform really well and just get like a resounding win. But smash and grab, it has a great feeling because United played poorly for a large swath of this game, but came back in a major way. And the class at the end, they showed those were great goals to score.
Ty Kircher, ugly for most of it, but they found a way to get a big 3 points. Happy with that. But wow, do we miss Casemiro and Eriksen. Rashford continues his form. Is that Hans and Franz I hear? Yes, it is, unfortunately. At BryGuy666, that was too much for me, sir. Straight up Ole ball for most of that shit match, but we hung in there. Marcus is just out of his mind, and I'm loving it. Fuck off, Leeds scum. No love for Leeds on this podcast. At Jamal Mota, sirs, what up? Poop emoji performance for most of the game. Ten Hag makes changes, and if you can't keep Sir Marcus off the score sheet, Garnacho's so deadly. Unclear why he's been slandered by some this week. Dave saves equals the record for most clean sheets, and we move on. So 2 games against Leeds, 4 points. Would have liked 6. Not going to complain about 4. At Michael Magellis, quote, is Wout our new number 10? Also, after watching 2 matches against them, that Leeds team is Nato, Adams, and McKennie. Love those American boys.
Shout out to the American boys. McKennie would have been a great addition, as well as Sabitzer, because I think Sabitzer played really well today. McKennie is also a player you like to have. He's got the size. He could beat up on some lads. Wow, I think that was just Erik ten Hag showing what he's got. He is a madman, our madman, but he's a tactical genius. The guy knows what he's doing, and it worked. You never would have thought, like, oh yeah, bring him as 10, play Rashford in front of him. That'll unlock the whole thing. But we looked good for those last 20 minutes, and that's just great to see.
I'm on board.
Are you?
Until he starts calling Wout out for Rashford's header goal. Like, that is you could say
Did he say that?
Yeah. He was like, Rashford scored the header, but did you see Wout running to the near post?
Dutch and the
Like,
Dutch
it
are
has
loyal.
nothing to do with-
Dutch are loyal.
No,
they
you can-
look out
no,
for each other.
You could say, did you see the pass to Garnacho? Like, a little behind him. Garnacho did well with it. Like,
He could add a little bit more pace, but it was
like,
a fine ball.
it's not like you never seen anyone pass that ball and been like, whoa.
Unless they mess it up, unless they screw it up.
Yeah, unless you see Fred send it to the opposition. But what I will say is that he plays the ball better than you would think, right? And maybe that's kind of the criticism is you think he's going to be that tall guy playing the shoulder. Like I said, where was Zlatan in the box when he was looking for the cross? He's right on the shoulder.
Yeah.
He's looking to get the header. Wout's kind of that come back, get the ball deep. Like, I just don't feel like the runs that I don't feel like he runs in dangerous areas. But like when you talk about playing 10, he's got the feet. He's a target. He's going to distract people, and that's what happened today. So it was a brilliant move, and maybe he is our secret number 10. You know, but we've just been playing him in the wrong position, sir. So I've been slating the guy. He's actually number 10. My bad.
Usually when you're 6'7" and you're a striker, you can assume you play as your target man, but he actually likes the ball more at his feet.
That's
he likes
what's
it
crazy.
in the air. Like, he's not great in the air, but he's got decent feet for a big man. I don't think he's better than Bruno Fernandes, but hey, it worked today.
Yeah, it's hard to keep Bruno Fernandes off the pitch here. At last one here, at Love the Bulls 18, woke up and was surprised about that lineup. After the game was over, I truly believe Erik ten Hag is at the wheel, and this club is going to take on the world. # glory, glory, Man United. Love it.
When does Ten Hag get a song? After we win a silverware? After we beat up Newcastle?
So, you know what's unfortunate? It was David Moyes, no song.
No.
LVG, all he had was like Louis Van Gaal's
Gaal's
Robbery.
Robbery,
That's
yeah.
not technically a song. Jose Mourinho, great song.
Great song.
Woke
So
up this
Ole,
morning feeling fine.
Ole's song
Got
was also
Man
great.
United on my mind.
Something till...
Yeah, exactly. Great song. And then Ole, awesome song. Ole's the way all gets to feel. I don't know. There's no song. It's like
There will
we're
be.
dying.
There will be. If he's
it's bad.
There will be. There will be. Because the United, there's so much great stuff about this club, but one of the great things as well is
Sir Alex Ferguson's song's not great. Every one of us loves Alex Ferguson.
no,
It's not
but
that
I
great.
feel like we've gotten better as we've gotten shit. Like, we have so many great chants. Manchester United, any player who is has a soft spot in the hearts of United fans on a broad scale, they find a song for him. So it's like Garnacho, he already got a
No,
song.
but like some songs, like Diego Forlan, it was not a great United player, but people still sing about, like sometimes a song like And Herrera, great song.
That was a great song.
And, doesn't play for United. You still hear it. So it's like the song game and then the manager and the player. They don't
It's all over
really,
the
it's not
place.
eye to eye.
There's no
Like,
guarantee.
Marcus Rashford's song, not
I mean,
great.
Ole had one of the greatest songs ever. And obviously, how did that go? Only at the wheel. I was listening to it the other day. I was looking at the videos
it's
of my
great.
son.
But
It's
then you got
that
Pogba.
song. We would sing that song for 40 minutes straight.
I know it was a time to be alive.
It was a time.
Great
We felt
time,
good.
and it came crashing down. Crashing down.
The wheels came off.
Came crashing down. Well, that's it. That's the podcast. Happy Super Bowl Sunday to everyone who's watching. As a devout New York Giants fan, I have to go against the Eagles. Sir, who are you rooting for in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I want a good game. I want a good match, but I have to root against the Eagles because of the jersey thing. So there you go.
Hey, you're from Jersey. You don't like Philly. I'll tell you. At least North Jersey, South Jersey. There's a difference there. I don't know why, but South Jersey likes Philly. North Jersey don't like South Jersey, and North Jersey don't like Philly. North Jersey don't like Long Island. There's a list.
Very
There's a
tribal.
list of things
It's very
like-
tribal. But
and then New York people don't like New Jersey, even though like they're the same people. But then it's like this whole thing, and then like Long Islanders think they're better than New Jersey.
that's a
So
whole
it's
other
like-
pod. That's a whole other pod.
But the one thing is, everyone doesn't like people from Jersey.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: the good thing is, if Philly wins, they do like the most preposterous. Their fans, like they had a fan that was like eating horse shit. They won the NFC final, so like I'd appreciate that. They top banter because they're just animals. Hey, shout out Philly.
I had no shout out to Philly on the pod. Get out of here. All right, sir.
They're eating horse shit, sir.
Let's see. You got the last top cities last 7 days here.
Number one, how you doing? How you doing? London, England. New York. LA, California, Chicago, Illinois, San Francisco, California, Melbourne, Australia, Dallas, Texas, Dublin, Ireland, Houston, Texas, and last but not least, Denver, Colorado. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. We couldn't do it without you. Only one way to close it out after Leeds twice, 4 points. Could have been better, could have been worse. Hey, happy about that win today.
On to Barcelona. Let's go.
City.